been a hot minute since I filmed. You can tell by the new background. This is far more comfortable. I'm 25 today. 25 is weird. I'm having all sorts of conflicting feelings about it, especially considering I didn't ever think I would make it to 25, which is kind of a dark way to start this video off, but anyone who knows me knows that I genuinely didn't think I was going to reach 20. So all of my birthdays since 20 have been kind of surreal and a little bit off, but this one is hitting me weird. I think part of it is because of the state that the world is in, and part of it is because 25 is just, it's one of those ages where you're like, okay, my life should start now, right? Like there are people who are married with kids, or there are people who have started their careers, or there are people like me who are like, don't really have a whole lot to show for it. In some ways, who I was as a teenager didn't make it to 25. I'm a completely different person than I was, but it's still those experiences and those past actions that made me who I am now and have brought me to make this series and all of that fun stuff. I think this year is hitting me differently because it feels like we entered a weird parallel universe in the beginning of 2020. And there's just been so much information and misinformation that has kind of come at us full speed that it's hard to have any idea what the future brings. So having like a significant birthday like 25 is challenging, I guess. Everything feels kind of off balance. Like I don't have the security of a job in my field. I'm working in essentials, and I was diagnosed with a chronic illness 6 months ago and don't have a doctor to work with in person. And my classes have all gone online for college, which means all my social interactions through that are completely taken away. And I don't know, I felt like I was connecting with teachers to become mentors, and I don't think I'm gonna have that same kind of connection online. You know, I talk to everybody and I don't talk to anybody anymore because it's hard to do that kind of connection over the internet when you don't know somebody really close. So a lot of the social interaction that I had is kind of just gone. Like I talked to a couple of people, but not a whole lot. I don't know, I felt like I needed to upload this video for a couple of reasons. I feel like for my own processing of the fact that like my 20s are half over, and also to just acknowledge how far I have gotten, right? I am always really hard on myself, and I'm very critical of that I'm not where I want to be, or that I haven't accomplished this or that, but I'm almost 2 years sober, and I'm in college, and I have my own apartment, and I don't think I expected to have these things on my own will without a partner, which is weird, but I just kind of assumed that I would have to have somebody with me doing it. The other weird thing that's kind of hitting me really hard this year is just how much has happened in the last 25 years and just how uncertain the future is, right? We went from barely anybody having internet access when I was born and like it just starting to everyone having a smartphone and TikTok stars and me making YouTube videos in my bedroom. The speed at which like it was exponential growth. It happened so fast that the next 25 years scares me. I'm a cusper. I don't really qualify as a millennial or a Gen Z. You know, the 95 babies were right in the middle there. And I don't know what to expect or how to react to what's coming. There's a lot of things that for my generation and my age group, it's a lot of uncertainty. it's climate change, and it's racial justice, and it's wealth inequality, and it's homelessness, and it's addiction, and it's a lot to kind of look at and find where the positivity is, especially when government and politics aren't doing what we kind of expected or needed to do. And maybe that's just my opinion, and it's too liberal, blah blah, hoo-ha for you, but I don't know, it's a real fear. I realize this video is all over the place. I didn't script it because I felt like it needed to be real and raw, and it's not long, it's just something I felt like I needed to do. So I was kind of thinking about this video and thinking about what it means to me and why I'm having such a hard time with it. I went through and I made a list of the cliche 25 things I've learned by 25. Everyone does these videos. It's overdone, but I also feel like I kind of had a little bit of self-reflection and introspection while I made the list, so I'm going to share it with you anyways. So, 25 things I've learned by 25. Number 1, I have so much left to learn. I know a fraction of 1% of what I need to know. Number 2, I will be a new person every year. I'm never the same person. I'm always changing and growing and becoming better and more me. Number 3, nothing I do will please everyone. The experiences and values that other people have are not going to line up with my experiences and values, and therefore my actions are not going to make everybody happy. So I might as well do what makes me happy. Number 4, community is important. I've struggled to find community my whole life. I've been on my own for a very long time, but I find comfort in knowing that I'm a part of the Vlog Brothers community. And I find comfort in knowing that I've got students at school that we're part of a community. And I think building that community around something that you value and people that appreciate you is really important. Number 5, breaking and rebuilding habits takes time. I'm so hard on myself when it comes to changing bad habits, and I just need to keep reminding myself that it doesn't happen overnight, and the more that you practice and the more that you put in a concentrated effort, it will happen. Number 6, reality is subjective. This one took me a while to understand, but it's basically the fact that everybody's reality is based on their experiences and their perspective. There isn't one true reality that everybody lives in. We all live in our own different little worlds. Number 7, we are all healing. We used to say broken. I used to think that everybody was broken and that's why we would lash out and hurt others. And I think the better way to look at it is that we're all healing from something. And that we might not know the right way to react, but we're doing the best we can with what we have. Number 8, clear communication is mandatory. I don't appreciate misinformation online and miscommunication. And I think the fact that a lot of our communication has gone online is taking away the clarity of the message. Number 9, college is a scam. I'm a current college student. I still believe this. I think that the way that society has progressed, college is now the equivalent of a high school diploma in the job field. You really can't find livable earnings without a college degree, and it is not accessible to everybody, which makes the job market unequal and unfair. I can only go to college because I'm taking out loans and grants, and even that is a privilege that not everybody has access to. I think the way that a college diploma is looked at now is not given the same kind of credit and value as spending the kind of money that is needed to spend on it, when experience and personality impacts the way that you do your job just as much. Number 10, network is more important than experience and skills when it comes to job searching. This also related to jobs and frustrates me a little bit just because of how often I've moved, and it's hard to develop a network when you're moving so often. But I've found in every experience and in every position, it's far easier to get ahead in a job if you've got a solid connection and solid network than if you're qualified for the job. Number 11, money is a game. If you know how to play the game properly, you can get ahead, but you need to be able to get ahead to play the game, and it's not easy. And you might even know how to play the game, but don't have the pieces to participate. We all know that investing in real estate and all sorts of passive income is the way to move forward, and not everybody has that option. Number 12, friendship is a two-way street. I've moved 11 times in 8 years, and most of the places that I've been, I don't talk to the people that I knew there. And it's not because I didn't make good connections, it's because being an adult and trying to maintain friendships is a challenge. If you don't have similarities in your life, if you're not going to the same places and seeing each other on a regular basis, maintaining that connection is hard. Number 13, lower your expectations of people. I don't know if it's because of the expectations that I place on myself or if it's from something else, but I often expect more of people than they're willing to give, and I need to lower my expectations to avoid disappointment more often. Number 15, parents aren't always right. It took me 25 years to kind of be comfortable in myself enough to know that as much as they have good intentions, the advice and opinions that my parents hold are not always going to be the correct ones for me. Number 16, you're not the only one affected by your actions. I think this one I learned through other people more than I learned through myself. It's hard to see how your actions impact others, but when you see other people's actions impacting you, it gives you that perspective of, oh, maybe it's the same for me. Maybe I need to consider what my actions and choices are because they might be affecting others. Number 16, independence is bittersweet. I moved out when I was 16. I moved back in for about a year, but I was out again by 18, and I've been on my own since then. I wouldn't trade that independence to go back for financial security, but it has been a challenge, and there are definitely moments where it is harder than it is easier. Number 17, love will make you a fool. I don't really have to explain this one. I've fallen in love 3 times, and each time it's made me crazy. Following up, number 18, stay vulnerable after heartbreak. I think one of the biggest things that I like about myself is my vulnerability and my ease at expressing emotions. I think that it's really important to show people how you feel, and I don't want to become hardened and cold just because somebody broke my heart. Number 19, real growth happens after the ugly shit. I'm 25. I've had some years of ugly shit, and I think after those years, I've always become a better person. I still have a lot of work to go and a lot of things to get through, but I think that it was important for me to go through those hard times to be who I am now. Number 20, sex is awesome. Masturbation is mandatory. I hate that we don't talk about masturbation, especially women. And I think if you are a lesbian, if you are single, if you're not getting the sex that you need to be taking care of yourself. Number 21, rest is important and selfless. I struggle with resting because it happens so often with my chronic illness that I often feel guilty about it. I feel like I'm not doing enough and I'm not working hard enough. And I need to keep reminding myself that I need to rest in order to repair and protect my body to be able to do things like this in the future. To be able to work hard when I can. Number 22, taking responsibility lets you learn. I am terrified of taking responsibility and admitting my mistakes because I'm terrified of getting in trouble. One of my biggest anxieties is being in trouble or doing something wrong from an authority figure. And I'm a grown-ass adult. That shouldn't be a fear, and it is. And I think that fear stops me from taking responsibility a lot of the time. Number 23, you can't solve every problem. I'm gonna just leave this one there. Number 24, reading is empowering. The more that I read, the more that I learn. And the more that I learn, the more experiences and values and opinions I can take with me and understand other people's experiences better. And number 25 is it's okay to question things. I'm a curious person by nature. I question why we do certain things. I question how certain things came to be. And I think it's important to do that even when it grinds up against other people, even when they challenge those questions. So that's my list. I know it's cheesy. I know this video is all over the place and a little bit of a mess. Welcome to my brain. It's all over the place and a little bit of a mess. We'll get back to regular videos next week, and thanks for watching. Bye.